3, 2, 1. Hey folks, I wanted to make a YouTube video. I'm already done with the job. I just wanted to make sure that's exactly what it was before I put the video up. I essentially was working on a 2012 F150 XLT Ecoboost. Has a twin turbos, 3.5 liter. I've had this truck for about almost 40,000 miles now. Has about 64,000. It's been a great truck. One thing that I noticed is it had like a chirping sound upon acceleration and a real bad knocking sound out of the passenger side on startup. I'll clip those videos in so you guys can check it out. If you have similar sounds, I identified that it was an exhaust manifold leak. Essentially, you can see some of the oops. Show you. Oh God! Some of the carbon tracking here. When I went in and checked out the exhaust manifold gasket, once I pulled the turbo, I had found out that the bolts on the exhaust manifold, one of the bolts had sheared off. So I went over to Ford. I got all new studs and all new bolts. Everything's buttoned up really nice. Let me let's see here. Can I? Essentially, it was this back bolt on the exhaust manifold, if you can see it right back there. No, maybe I can point to it. This bolt was sheared off. Anyway, I thought it was a bad turbo, so I had to replace the turbo. It was not. It still did it. So that's when I went back in and did a little bit further troubleshooting. Anyway, I went ahead and also purchased these blow-off valves by Compact, and the turbo came out of Texas. I'll post where it came from, but those guys were great, brand new. A couple hours on it. $600 turbo I got for 250 bucks. Got a new line because I had destroyed one of my lines underneath. The book calls for about 7.5 hours on the job. I'm pretty close to that, being outside. I gotta get a new battery too. I have a crack on my battery, but everything is looking good. I'm gonna fire it up. Like I said, I already fired it up, but I'm gonna refire it up while it's still cold so you guys can hear the difference. That sounds a lot cleaner than what it did. Now really the only thing that I'm hearing are the injectors opening up. The other thing that I'm looking for is coolant leaks, especially on this line that travels back. I want to make sure that nothing is leaking out of that thing right there. It did before. When I had taken this turbo out, everything's just burning off. Also, coming in here, if you do the job, careful with these plastic lines, some vacuum lines that come across on the top here. Everything's looking pretty good. I'm going to check out my coolant levels and I'll come back and revisit. So I've been running this F150 probably for about 5-10 minutes now. I still don't have any leaks on that coolant return line, which is good. Everything's looking good. The oil line down there is looking good. Everything's burning off. Looks like everything's set in. I'm gonna put this tire on, let it run for a little bit longer, and then go put it under a load and see if anything pops. So I took my truck out to go test everything. Everything sounded pretty good. I'll go up my little hill here. You guys can hear on the acceleration that it doesn't have that chirp. Everything sounds clean as it fires up. It sounded really good. The other thing that I noticed was I had a little bit more horsepower. Probably because that exhaust isn't leaking and spooling that turbo on the passenger side faster. Pay no attention to the seatbelt alarm. So before you heard the squeak, cleaned it up. Here's a wall so you can hear more of the acoustic on that passenger side. Everything sounds really good. The other thing that I did was I put new drive belts on it and an accessory belt. That was kind of a pain in the ass. But 64,000 miles, just do it now. Everything was off. I had to drop the AC compressor anyway, so might as well just put on new belts instead of redoing it in 20,000 miles, 40,000, whatever. But everything sounds good. Everything came together pretty good. And that's essentially what it was. So if you hear that squeak, squeal, more than likely it's probably an exhaust gasket on one of the sides. Just sounds really good. It's working really good. Thanks, guys.